Hey everybody, wanna wheeze them here. Saturday, August 31st, 2013. A little later in the day, taking a look now at the recent release on Skylanders SWAP Force for the Nintendo 3DS. This one, of course, was developed by InSpace. We've had the details on the starter pack for quite some time. At E3, one of the questions I asked was if the storylines would remain different. That was the case, so we all had that to look forward to. Big issue since then is what will the storyline be in SWAP Force 3DS. We now know that. That's one of the things we're going to cover here. I guess, three screenshots, two action, one level we'll take a look at as well. But again, Skylanders SWAP Force going to drop here in the US on October 13th. The 3DS starter pack is special, as it always has been. We'll take a look here. This is what you're going to get. You get the portal. Note that redesign I've spoken of before. You get two swappers, air element, of course, spin ability would be Free Ranger, and then bounce ability on Dead Element would be Rattle Shake. Those are your two swappers. Your special one is going to be Volcanic Eruptor. That's different than Lava Barf Eruptor. It's got a darker coloring. Think along the lines of Punch Pop Fizz and Dark Spyro. The storyline on SWAP Force 3DS is as follows. The story of Skylanders SWAP Force on Nintendo 3DS begins in Boomtown, home of Skyland's favorite pilot, none other than Flynn. Very cool, we now have that to add to the background story on Flynn. As the town is celebrating Flynn as their hometown hero, I'm sure he took that well, a new villain known as Count Moneybone sneaks his way into Boomtown to kidnap Cali, longtime friend of Flynn and the Skylanders. Now it's up to Portal Masters everywhere to assemble the Skylanders and SWAP Force to save Cali and defeat the evil Count Moneybone. So very cool backstory there, kind of ties along Flynn and Cali, and that should be an important element there. Now, one of the screenshots we got was Toadstool Terrace. If that doesn't sound interesting to you, it's because it's a level, and that actually makes it very interesting. You get a good shot there, kind of reminiscent of like a Mario game. Looks like a fun area to explore, at the very least. Don't have any enemies that we can tell in that one. Here we've got Free Ranger battling it out against what look to be like heavily armored or robotic chompies. I'm really interested in those. They could potentially spawn from like those wind-up looking tiki chompy spears maybe. And then this one's kind of like intergalactic funk right here. It's Rattle Shake. There's mushrooms in the background, something flying, our typical greaser trolls, but it appears to be like either maybe in an undead area or perhaps an outer space level. I don't really know, but looks interesting. That's basically the crux of it. One of the things that the release wanted to stress is that if you pick up the console version and the 3DS, you're essentially going to have 4 SWAP Force characters to begin with, which gives you 16 combos already. Of course, you can wind up with 256, which is mind-boggling. Even 16 is going to be a bit much to take on right there on day one, because you have to remember, you still got to get to know the regular, fully assembled character. So this starter pack, again, you're going to get Free Ranger and Rattle Shake. Very cool combination in my opinion. Your console starter pack, however, you're going to get, as far as swappers go, you're going to have Washbuckler and Blast Zone. Again, you do the math, there's 4 of them, that's 16 combinations. So should be, like I said, even if you just start out with your 2 starter packs, you're going to probably be busy for quite some time. Another thing they stressed, everything is forward compatible. That means if you're a huge Wham Shell or Ghost Roaster fan or any of the other castaways, you can play them in SWAP Force 3DS, and that's a nice relief. In addition to that, just like the console version, we saw a level cap of 10 in SSA, 15 in Giants. It's now 20 in SWAP Force on the console, and 20 on the SWAP Force edition for the 3DS. Again, this one was handled by InSpace. They've done some pretty cool stuff in the past, so no reason to really worry there. Personally, I'm a big 3DS fan right prior to this, and the reason I didn't record this earlier, I ate supper, watched some of TCU, LSU while I did that, and then I went back to Animal Crossing because I had Emperor Butterflies and they're on sale. So what that tells you is I have a 3DS. The really cool thing about Skylanders, and I think a lot of people don't appreciate this, either you don't have a portable or you're a Vita, or you just, I don't know, you do Android or iOS stuff. For 3DS owners, this is a big deal because instead of just having like a port of the console version that's the exact same thing, makes you do everything again. It's completely different. The storylines again in SSA Giants and Swap Force all unique. Different enemies, different villains, different strategies you need to undertake. So very cool to see that continue. Again, a lot of series and franchises they take the easy way out. If we have a console version, we're just going to port it basically, and usually the portable or handheld is kind of like the lesser quality one. That is not the case with Skylanders. Again, they've kind of gone above and beyond the Call of Duty to give us everything we need, in terms of enjoying it again, in similar but very key different scenarios. So if you don't have a 3DS, I say this pretty much any time I mention the 3DS, you're really missing out. There's some incredible games out there. And again, if for some weird reason you're not into Mario games or have no interest in Mario Kart 7 or all the other great first-party Nintendo titles, you could pick it up and fully justify the price. They've also got the 2DS coming out, which will be that a lot of people thought that was a joke. It's actually legit. Bottom line, you can get into something that can play a 3DS game, which you can now pick up relatively cheaper. And what that'll allow you to do is actually have another game to enjoy all your Skylanders on. Not quite as in-depth as the console version, but I mean, nonetheless, you're going to get, 10-ish hours or so on average, I'd say. Then of course you can replay it. There's a lot of challenges you can do that'll probably continue over. But bottom line, if you're into Skylanders, these are separate games. They have the same title but totally different storylines, well worth picking up. If I didn't have that and believe it myself, I wouldn't tell you that. But that said, I'm looking forward to it. The other big perk, if you're one of those people that goes out and spends 80 or 50, 80, 90, $100 for Dark Spyro or Punch Pop Fizz, do the math. You can get the starter pack for $75 and you get a game out of the deal, 2 Swap Force characters, then your special 3DS only character. Kind of makes it a no-brainer for me. I mean, particularly if you happen to be a huge either a collector or just a fan of Eruptor, he's going to be highlighted this time around. So lots of reasons to go ahead and kind of justify, pursuing the 3DS version. The other thing, and I kind of hit on this at E3, they weren't 100% willing to commit to it, but if you see some of the screenshots, you can kind of see like the 8 elements down on your bottom screen. You can actually cycle through your collection and make the swap that way. The 3DS this time around stores your collection much like the iOS stuff does, and essentially that means, say that you load up your starter pack that day, you got the console and the 3DS starter pack, so you've got your 4 swappers. Say that you lose your Ninja Stealth Elf and you come in your Volcanic Eruptor and you lose him in the level. I'm assuming it's the same way it has been in the past, where you lose one, you cycle in. You were limited to 2 characters in SSA and Giants, which it registers your collection, but you can't select from them. Now what you can do is actually go in using the bottom touchscreen. Say that you wanted to make Hoot Loop appear. You'd go to Magic and it's there. If you decide that you need Hoot Shift for some reason, assuming you've got Night Shift, you'd come in and you can actually cycle through the bottom end as well. It was all really, really cool. And again, for people that play a lot on the 3DS, what a big upgrade that is. Really, it's kind of an upgrade over the console version. Granted, I realize, a lot of the goal there is, you want kids to interact with the toys, and that kind of takes care of that. 3DS, of course, a lot of times, particularly young children, when you play it, it's in the car. You're on a trip, it's after school, you're at a friend's house or a babysitter, something along those lines. You're not at home to use the console, and so they kind of took that into account. But in all honesty, it's such a cool feature, the ability to cycle through, view your entire collection, and then play from that. Seems like it'd be right at home on the Wii U. I wouldn't mind seeing it there. Still, even myself, I'd kind of still like to have, the attached portal and kind of, go into Igniter, and actually kind of have to fish them out and then swap it. Would be a cool consideration for the future, maybe. That that said, I do plan to pick up the 3DS day one like I've done in the past, get it unboxed, all that jazz for you. But the bottom line, it looks really good. We now, more importantly, know the background story. And again, for those that were concerned thus far, maybe with the absence of Cali in that game, the console version that is, looks like she's going to play a very prominent role here in the 3DS game. So that should be pretty cool. Plus, we've got another villain. And of course, with another villain, that means there's a chance that we could possibly see him later on, either working in conjunction with Chaos in a future release, something along those lines. So, pretty cool. And again, like I said, the main thing, if you're truly a Skylander fan, you can come in, pick this up, in addition to getting to use your entire collection, and I mean all the way back to SSA. You've got a brand new game to enjoy, so well worth it in my opinion. And again, it's something I will personally pick up as well. So very cool to know the background story. Get a couple more screenshots. The levels look pretty nice. Again, what was highlighted here was Toadstool Terrace. But any questions, comments, feel free to ask here on YouTube. If I can, I will answer. If you need a quicker response, I suggest you use the blog. Just take the link at the top of the video description, or surf on over to oneofwisdom.com. You can follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, circle me on Google+. Of course, make sure you're subscribed. That way you'll stay up to date with all the latest. Again, thanks for watching, and I will catch you back here next time.